welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft, and this is Richard. So today, I got a few things I'd like to discuss. Really, all I've got with me today is a notebook, of course, and my ranger beads and my compass. Now, I put this whistle on because I want to talk about why I don't carry a whistle. So I put one on and I'm carrying it around so that I can talk about why I generally won't do that. Also, today it's about 50 degrees out here. It's Monday. I'm not quite sure the time, but it's probably around the noonish area. See, it's 21st, I think it is. I checked before I left. I checked the date, the time, and the temperature, all that stuff before I left, but it's been like 10 or 15 minutes, so I've forgotten. Anyway, it's Monday. I know it's Monday because I watched the Colts win against Green Bay last night. Yay! And I know it's 50 degrees because I checked that before I came out here, and that's really the only thing I remember. I'm pretty sure it's around the 21st. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. I have been talking with a few people on Facebook on survival prepping / whatever you want to call it. And I've seen some posts that I like, and I've seen some that I don't dislike. I just don't agree with, I guess you could say. So I was wanting to discuss that, and I was wanting to discuss just the concept and ideas of prepping to begin with, because it's been a long time since I have interjected myself into the community, the internet community of preppers. It's been a while since I've placed myself in that area, and like pretty much everything else in my life, I don't think I necessarily fit into the box that's called prepper. Even though I consider myself one, I'm really not in that box, I don't think. But we'll talk about that in a minute if I remember. Real quick, though, the whistle. Now, I purchased this whistle in Kansas at Boot Hill at a gift shop. It's a deer antler that they made into a whistle, and I put some cordage on it so that I could hang it. Whistles are fun. They're nice. If you have a group of people that you want to communicate short distances with, whistles can be a wonderful basic way to communicate simple ideas and concepts by using whistle blows to create messages. I am not really a whistle person for a few reasons. One is I'm really not accustomed to being in a group situation. The term, I guess nowadays, like I said, I haven't been interjecting myself into the community for some time, but something I've seen recently a lot is the term lone wolf, which basically means people that go at it alone by themselves, single people. Now, I consider myself generally in that category because I don't have a group of people, but I am working on that. But I don't generally have a group of people that I work with, so group-oriented skills I am not proficient at, I will say that. I don't have the need to develop those skills, so signaling is just not in my repertoire. And again, that's for several reasons. One is I'm not in a group, so I don't need to communicate with other people. And two, even if I was in a group, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to make this video today, and I want to make this really clear, is that I am not a whistle or harmonica person when it comes to being out in the woods and making all that racket and noise. If you're interested in getting found or rescued, by all means, make all kinds of racket, make all kinds of noise, blow whistles, stomp through the woods, smack trees up against other trees, yell, scream, play your harmonica, do whatever makes you happy. But in a real life situation, in a real life scenario, things are different, and training them in an environment where blowing a whistle is okay. There's nothing wrong with blowing a whistle right now. Even if somebody hears that, it's possible there could be some people near me. Even if somebody hears that, I'm not in any real serious threat or danger of being found or being attacked and my stuff taken away from me. But in the situations that I'm training for, that's a good possibility. So even if I was with a group, I'm not really keen on the whole blowing a whistle or playing a harmonica. That's another thing. A few people were talking about having a harmonica to help pass the time, play a harmonica or whatever, beat a drum, play guitar, whatever your thing is. And that's cool to do now. There's really no problem sitting, in your camp, campfire going, and everybody sitting around chatting and laughing and having a good time and playing harmonicas and, blowing your whistles and tooting your horns and all that stuff. There's really nothing wrong with that. But when the extreme possibility of somebody finding you and using all that noise to locate you, and then decide that you have gear that they want or food that they want. Now, I'm not saying that everybody, if it gets that bad, let's just stop here for a minute. I'm looking at, a really horrible situation. I'm not looking at something in the situation where you get locked down for 6 months and, things like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the end, period, Mad Max type shit, right? So in those situations, you don't want to be doing that. I'm not going to be blowing my whistle. I'm not going to be tooting my horns or, banging my drums or anything like that. So keep that in mind when you're training. You're not training for now, and you're not even training for a minor incident. You're training for the big one, right? At least I am. So in that situation, think about how it would be then, not how it is now. I'm not interested in blowing a whistle and letting everybody know where I'm at. It's just not something I'm interested in. But it is cool looking. I do like it. It is pretty cool. So anyway, there's that. Now there was another thing I was wanting to talk about, and it's right there on the tip of my tongue. I may have to go back to the house and stick this in the computer so I can see what I was thinking. I'm gonna have to turn the computer off and think about it. I have to figure out what that other thing is. Hold on. Okay, so oh, it's about 3 or 4 minutes later. I figured it out. Oh shit! Hold on. It's got something to do with prepping. Damn it! It was in my head, and then I turned the camera on, and now I forget again. Something about I do things differently than other people. Oh yeah, okay, I got it. All right, there we go. My type of prepping. There we go. Whew. All right, so I'm not kidding around, guys. This is how I am. My type of prepping. When I first began, and I don't know how many years ago back it was, 8, 9, 10 years ago maybe, when I got serious about it. I prepped kind of like the way most people do. You know, I tried to gather up as much stuff as I possibly could and hoard it back, and you know, all the foods that I could save back, and you know, the dried foods and all that stuff, and as much gear as possible. And you know, I just collected as much crap as I possibly could. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have anything wrong with that. If I had space, which I don't have, but if I had space for that, I would still do it, just in case. I mean, it would be like a backup plan. But my prepping is not for a bug in, it's more for a bug out. My philosophy isn't gather as much crap as I possibly can and hoard it away and dig myself in and stay, as much as it is gain as much experience as I possibly can with as much things as I can, and then find what works for me and then start perfecting that stuff. So it's skills and abilities more than it is gear and stuff. Now, there's nothing wrong with gear and stuff, but the problem is you rely on gear and stuff, and then when you don't have it, you're screwed. If you rely on skills, ability, and experience, then you have that. Even if you don't have the stuff, you can always find the stuff. You can't always find the skills, abilities, and experience. So anyway, when I first started, like I said, I gathered as much crap as I possibly could, and I had space for it. And then, of course, Michelle and I decided we wanted to go on a big adventure, and we sold everything, packed our van up, and took off. So now we're mobile. We're still mobile. We're not out on the road right now. We are staying at a family member's house. Well, we're not in the house. We're actually in the garage. We're in a man cave, a small room in a detached garage, which has heat. Well, it has electricity, which gives us heat, but it doesn't have running water or bathroom facilities. But anyway, throughout the last 8 or 10 years, I have began to develop a more minimalist attitude towards this stuff. I really truly think that less is more. And when I stopped relying on having all that crap, I started gaining a lot more experience and a lot more skills, and I don't really necessarily have to rely on so much anymore. I don't need it. Now, I'm not saying I don't want it. I would love to have it, but I don't need it. The problem with people that prep, when they gather all this stuff, their entire process revolves around everything they have, and they don't rely so much on actual skills and knowledge, and even more so on experience, because people from what I've seen recently, most people gather up a bunch of crap, but very, very few people actually really use it or experiment with it or train with it in a manner that would give them the ability to use it. The way I do things, one is I don't have the material stuff in the first place, so I don't have a reliability upon it, so that I don't have to get over the reliability to be able to gain the experience out in the field. Same way with my martial arts. I am not a physically strong person. I am not muscular. I am not quick. I am not strong. Physically, I'm none of these things. Honestly, I'm not. And I never was. And that's a good thing for me, because I never had to rely on my speed or my strength to get me through. I had to develop the ability to do it without the strength and the speed. And when you don't have it in the first place, then you don't have to worry about trying to get rid of it later when you get better at it. So my prepper survival type attitude is minimal in gear and things to that nature. But I think in the long run, for me, it's better. I'm not going to have the space. I'm not going to have a large farm or a bunker or anything like that I can keep stuff in and defend. I'm not going to have that to begin with. So there's no reason for me to prep as if I will or do. I'm going to be mobile. I can see it. I want to be that way. I don't want to bug in. Now, if I have the opportunity to bug in somewhere, I absolutely will. But my particular skill sets aren't necessarily about bugging in and defending a small space against marauders or anything like that. I'm more of the stealthy, mobile, where if it gets too hot in a position, I'll move somewhere else. I'll dump it and move. You can't do that, or I should say, you can't take all of your shit with you if you have a massive amount of gear. In my viewpoint, gathering all of that stuff isn't helping you. It's you're helping whoever kills you and takes all your shit. That's all you're doing. You're just helping someone else who decides to take you out, and now they've got all your shit. So you're just helping somebody else. So in a way, you're doing a good thing for other people who probably ended up killing you. So yeah, I don't want to position myself and fortify myself in somewhere and die. If I'm gonna die, I'd rather die out in the woods, defending a spot, or running and trying to defend something later. Or I don't want to get stuck in a box and die in the box. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die outside the box. That's just how it is. Plus, when you kill me, you're not gonna have as much shit to take from me. So I don't have to worry about the person that killed me taking all my shit, because I don't have the shit in the first place. Now, when it comes to food supplies, again, everybody worries about food. Now, granted, yes, that's probably going to be the most important thing when it's all said and done, is probably food. But the problem with that is that food's the last thing you need to worry about. Yeah, food is the very last thing you really need to worry about. For survival, you have the three rule, the rule of three. There we go. The rule of three. you survive. You will survive as long as you can survive 3 seconds without thinking. 3 seconds without thinking. That's it. You can survive 3 minutes without air. You can survive 3 days without water. And you can survive 3 weeks without food. But it's the food everybody worries about. And that's the last thing you need to worry about. Now, thinking. Now, honestly, most people don't do that anyway. So I'm not even going to discuss that because that's... Anyway. So you can last 3 seconds without thinking. So you have to constantly be thinking. 3 minutes without air. Basically, just don't get yourself stuck in some place that is sealable and you can't get oxygen in there. Now, man-made items or natural items like sticking yourself in a cave and the cave collapses and boom, you're done. Or sticking yourself in a freaking box and trying to defend that and somehow they seal off all of your exits or your breathing capability and you're done. So you have 3 days without water. So water. Have to have a water supply. 3 days, that's it. 3 weeks without food. You can go, you're not going to be happy about it, and your body isn't going to be good, and you're probably going to suffer for it. But you can go a month without food. I mean, it's not going to be good for you, and you're not going to like it. I've never gone a month without food, and hopefully never will. But you can do that. Now, gathering, canning, dehydrating, salting, preserving in all sorts of ways, canned foods, dry foods, whatever you want. You can gather up an entire basement full of food that you could survive on for 3 years. You could do it. If you've got the time and the money, you can do it. Not a problem. But are you going to use it when you need it? Is all that a waste? You can rotate through it and never have to worry about it, and nothing ever happens and you're good to go. Or something can happen. You can get stuck in your basement. People that have better skills and better experience than you do because they've been out there training while you've been hoarding food and sitting in your basement watching YouTube is going to come in and kill you and take all of your food, and you just helped them. So you can feel good about helping somebody else. So that's kind of where I'm at. All right, so I just thought about something else on the way back. Prepping means being prepared. So here's another reason I like to be minimalist and mobile. If you don't have it with you when you need it, you don't have it. So as an example, wherever you are right now, whatever you're doing right now, whatever you have on you right now is all you've got. Can you survive? Now, I'm not saying that I would, but I have everything that I absolutely have to get what I need on me right now. I am close. I'm within walking distance of all of my stuff, but that doesn't mean I can get to all of it. Most likely, if you're watching this, you're in your home, and if you're in your home, most likely you're close to all of your stuff. And if you plan on bugging in, then you've got it with you. But what happens when you're out, just out? You're out doing something, you're out shopping, you're just out walking, you're doing whatever you're doing, and it happens right then and there, and you're a dozen miles away from your home, and there's no way to get back to your home except walking. Can you make it back? Do Do you have enough of stuff? Because I'm telling you this much, 10 or 12 miles in a world that is gone nuts, and especially in the very beginning, people are just going to go insane. 10 or 12 miles is a long freaking way to try to get through a bunch of people who are scared, who are morons, and the only thing they're thinking about are themselves, because in truth, that's all anybody ever thinks about is their self.